it disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, T. Kell, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. T. Kell and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 slaps and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It is Hump Day, February the 9th. Live here from the Low T Center studio. Ben McKee, Jason Swain. Ben, SEC basketball, man. What a night last night as number 1 Auburn goes down. And Vegas knew something because that line was tighter than pair of spandex. They was tight, and Bud Walton Arena was on fire. Sellout, biggest crowd in arena history, and Arkansas knocks off number 1 Auburn. Nice slate of SEC basketball games, man. SEC basketball is the best conference in America. Wow, crazy to say. Good morning.
Good morning, and only getting better.
That's right.
I am somewhat young, so don't remember SEC basketball as far back as others. But in my lifetime, this is the best SEC basketball has ever been.
Yeah, me too.
From top to bottom, and it's only getting better because schools are finally realizing that you don't have to pick one sport over the other in the SEC. You can contribute all the resources and money you need to into whatever program you want to on campus and have a big time program in each sport. And as a result of that, SEC basketball, the stock is skyrocketing. And last night was another example of just how great SEC basketball currently is. Auburn, Arkansas was absolutely terrific. Mm-hmm. Auburn really missed Zeb Jasper, who did not play because of a non-COVID illness.
He passes the ball. I think he's the only person on the team that passes.
He is the glue to that offense. And Jabari Smith made some big-time shots at the end, but waited too long to start making shots. And I thought Katie Johnson was awful.
Terrible.
Last night. His energy's fun to watch if he's on your team, but it's not fun to watch when the game's on the line and he's going a million miles an hour and throwing it up at the backboard with with nothing to it. So last night was fun, and the other games were good as well. LSU A&M was kind of a blowout. LSU could not miss in that first half. Brandon Murray was stuck on automatic from the 3-point line. Kentucky had a battle all night with South Carolina, pulled away and won by double digits, but it was fairly close for most of that game. And then Vandy, Missouri was a close game last night in the 9 o'clock window as well. So you're spot on. Last night's SEC slate was fun, like we thought it would be.
Was crazy. Did Mizzou cover? I think Mizzou cover. I think the only.
I turned it off when Vandy went up like 8.
Yeah, I think the only game that messed up my parlay was Auburn losing. But I had Kentucky winning by 9.5 and covering that spread. Sorry about that, Ben. You had it at 10.5, and Shea was being all nice and showing good sportsmanship, whatever.
If you could have heard me yelling at my television,
Go Dunk!
I was so mad. I was so mad. Like Swain said, I had Kentucky 10.5, and my parlay would not have mattered because I put money on Auburn. I had Auburn covering. I think I had Auburn at 1.
Yeah.
The line had gone down to 1 before tip off. I had Auburn covering the 1 point favorite. I had LSU covering 1.5, I think it was, and LSU took care of business. So Kentucky and Oscar Sheboy screwing me. It didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things with my parlay because Auburn peed the bed. But I did have a separate bet of simply Kentucky covering. And for those who did not see the final ending of that game, Kentucky is up 10. They get the ball back with like 5-6 seconds, and Oscar Sheboy is cherry picking, and Kentucky gets the rebound and throws it full court to Oscar Sheboy on the other end with like 4 seconds left. There's nobody around him. He has an easy dunk, and he goes in acting like he's going to dunk it, and he just doesn't dunk it. And if he would have dunked it, Kentucky would have won by 12, and they would have covered. But instead, they won by 10 and didn't cover, which I had them at 10.5, and they won by 10 because Oscar Sheboy was doing stupid sportsmanship things on the floor, acting all nice. Like we got to stop teaching sportsmanship. We have to stop.
Go dunk like Arkansas game.
Yeah, and then that was even salt on the wound. Then 30 minutes later in overtime, Arkansas doesn't show sportsmanship and dunks it all in Auburn's face, and Wendell Green was trying to fight there. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, he was hot. And if I'm the SEC, you know, you gotta put down a fine on Arkansas because the point of trying to minimize the court storming and field storming is safety concerns. I think about one incident, I'll never forget it. Boise State, LeGarrette Blount, when Boise State lost and a fan ran up on LeGarrette Blount and he hit him with the one-hitter quitter. And I could have, like, you could see that happening last night as Wendell Green was trying to stop the last-second dunk, and then the crowd just swallowed the court, and Auburn's players were right in the middle of it. Eric Musselman, after the game, he threw a little shot.
As he should have.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love it. I'm here for it. But, you know, he threw a little shot saying, you know, the Auburn players were dancing on their logo before the game, and they watched it. So, you know, they were motivated, and they wanted to send Auburn home without doubt. They wanted to put an exclamation point at the end of that game, and that's what they did with that dunk. But yeah, man, that could have ended really, really badly. And you know, Bruce ain't gonna care.
Well,
he likes his guys to be rough and fight and get in trouble anyways. You remember his time from here, Tennessee. So it's not like he's gonna discipline those players anyways if they got in trouble.
No, not at all. And then on top of like the players' safety being a huge concern when storming the court, and those other players, the Auburn players had to go a long way to get to the locker room. They had to go across the court, but they turned out the lights. for like a solid 10 seconds.
Like Teddy P, y'all. That's fight time in the club. After the club, that's.
I was thinking, somebody's gonna get sucker punched.
Oh, that's primetime fight.
That's I was waiting on something bad to happen, whether it be Auburn, Arkansas fighting because Wendell Green did not appreciate that last minute dunk and tried to. It looked like he tried to hit him in the man area when he was in the air with the dunk, and then the players amongst the fans and the fans were already talking crazy before the game when the Auburn bus arrived.
Love it.
I was just waiting on something to happen, and then they turned off the lights, and not only does that mean it's Fight Club time, but also people running and storming the court with the lights off does not sound like a good idea. Somebody's gonna get trampled.
Yeah.
So there's also that aspect of it, but it was a really cool scene. It's why we love college sports. What the like Vol Grizz Cub says on the text box, what the Grizzlies did to the Clippers last night, that was also unsportsmanlike. But you don't get that type of atmosphere in the NBA this time of year. You don't get that passion this time of year. So that was really neat. And I just early to Auburn for dancing on the logo. In any sport, and we've talked about this with the Titans, and the Titans do genuinely have good intentions. Like they're not standing on the other team's logo to piss off the other team. It's just kind of where they gather before the game. But it's still, in my opinion, stupid of them to do so just because you're setting yourself up to deal with drama that you don't intend to deal with.
You don't do it before the game.
Yeah, you don't do, and Auburn's was much different than the way that the Titans do it. I'm just referencing the conversation that we've had before on the show about it. Auburn was dancing on the logo.
Yeah,
like why motivate them even more than they are already going to be motivated? Packed house, the first time a number one team has ever come to Bud Walton. Most people ever watching a game at Bud Walton, and you're dancing on the logo before the game, they're already going to be energized. Why energize them even more? And it's just like the same thing with the Titans. Like, okay, yes, you don't have bad intentions in doing so, but you're stirring things up when you don't need to. You just don't need to. It's stupid. Because if I'm on the other team, I'm pissed if somebody's standing on my logo.
Dang right, man. Hey, I've been through that as a player, and you have, team try to dance on your logo, and I've been part of a team that had it happen to us, and the next year we had it in the back of our minds, and then when we won, man, we planted the flag on their logo.
That's how you handle it.
Yeah, man. I mean,
I do think Arkansas goes back to Auburn. I think I heard that last night. That will be rowdy, to say the least, if that is the case. And I was thinking last night, speaking of scheduling, how about Tennessee schedule the rest of the way?
Let's go. I'm ready, man.
I am too. 4 big-time basketball games. Kentucky next Tuesday. You've got 2 Saturday games with Arkansas. You go to Arkansas next Saturday. Next week, you're home against Kentucky, 9 p.m. Eastern. They're already promoting it on ESPN. We've got ESPN rolling here in the studio. Mm-hmm. And they just had a lengthy commercial hyping it up. Plenty of Santi highlights and so on and so forth, Kentucky highlights. And they're already promoting the Tuesday night blockbuster, 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, they talked about
that'll be fun. Then you go to Arkansas on Saturday. And then I think that next Saturday, Auburn comes to town. You've got a top 5 Auburn team coming to town, 2 dates with Arkansas. You've got a date with Kentucky. Man, there's some big-time games on the back end of this Tennessee schedule.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at Auburn's schedule, Ben, doesn't look like Arkansas will go to Auburn. Auburn's remaining schedule, they play A&M at home, and then Vanderbilt at home, and then Florida, Ole Miss. They play us on the 26th. They go to Mississippi State, and then they finish the season versus South Carolina at home. So we don't get the rematch. And what's weird is you go look at Tennessee's schedule there on ESPN, and you go look at what they call that, the predictor.
Mm-hmm. The matchup predictor.
The matchup predictor, and Tennessee is some reason, favored to beat Auburn.
Auburn hasn't looked good the last couple of games.
For some reason, favored to beat.
Nah, I would still pick Auburn. Don't get it wrong. Tennessee's scheduled to win the rest of their games on Ken Palm. Obviously, that will not happen.
Without Olivier.
Yeah.
Obviously, it won't happen.
No, they're not going to win 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Their last 8 games, and half of those games are against Kentucky, Auburn, and 2 against Arkansas.
No,
I would be stunned if Tennessee wins all of their remaining games. But Ken Palm predicts them to win. Now, like next Tuesday, Ken Palm gives them a 50% chance of winning and predicts a 72-71 win.
Oh, yeah, that's cutting it close.
71. Arkansas next Saturday in Fayetteville, which this would be incredible if Tennessee beat Arkansas on the road, 72-70. Auburn 71-69. Nice. And then when Arkansas comes to Knoxville, Saturday, March 5th, the last regular season game, 75-67. And Mississippi State tonight is going to be a real tough game, I think. And Ken Palm predicts a 70-67 win for Tennessee. So a 3-point win tonight is what Ken Palm is calling for, and gives them a 60% chance of doing so.
It's the first game without Olivier.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be a tough game regardless.
They've
but
got some big guys.
Yeah, I mean, you were going to have to play without Olivier and make adjustments with him not being in the lineup. And we've seen with Lady Vols, they have not been the same without Green. I mean, Lady Vols, they don't even look like a top 10 team right now.
Well, let's not talk about them today.
Because of an injury. I'm just using them as an example. But this is the first game without Olivier. So how will this team respond? How will they adjust? Who will step up? Who will put it on them shoulders to make the plays, man? I mean, John Focus has been here for 27 years. He knows what time it is. Let's go. It's go time. And Zakai Ziegler's coming off a fantastic week last week, earning Freshman of the Week honors. Kennedy Chandler is playing at another level thanks to TJ Ford. Appreciate you, TJ Ford.
Honorary VFL, baby.
Thank you, man. Thank you, TJ Ford. Getting Kennedy right. And since their talk after that Texas game, Kennedy's game has went to another level. Mm-hmm. He's seeing the game a whole lot easier. The game is slowed down for him. He is taking his time. He's being patient. He's taking care of the basketball. Defensively, I mean, he's going to get you 2 or 3 steals a game. But the game is slowing down for Kennedy Chandler. And this is the point of your freshman year when you pass that midway point.
You're seasoned.
Yeah, man. The game starts slowing down for you. And this is why, like, I've always been a supporter of redshirting in football, because your head is spinning for the first month or two in the season. And before you get your feet settled on the ground, you turn around and there's like 3 or 4 games left in football. Well, in basketball, here we are, and now we're seeing Kennedy take that step, and you have 8 regular season games left. Mm-hmm. So plus, it takes time for freshmen.
Plus NCAA tournament, SEC tournament first. I meant to say that, but NCAA came out, and I talked about it last year with Keon and Jaden. You can really make a lot of money this time of year. Can really make a lot of money. I always think of Mike Conley. He was drafted.
Just let it go, Ben. He's not there anymore.
Top 5, and do you remember exactly what pick he was for the Grizzlies? I know he's top 5. I want to say he was number 2. Odin went 1.
Odin was Durant was 2.
Fourth.
Durant was 2 that year. Odin was number 1.
Who was 3rd? You remember off the top of your head? 2007 nope. NBA draft. But my point is, like, going into the NCAA tournament that year when Ohio State made that run, mm-hmm. Mike was like predicted to be a late first-round pick going into the NCAA tournament. He has said that, like, going into the conference tournament and NCAA tournament, he was planning on coming back to Ohio State for a sophomore season because, again, he was predicted to kind of be drafted towards the end of the first round, similar to Keon and Jaden last year, similar to Kennedy right now, and he just absolutely balled out. in the conference tournament and NCAA tournament and helped lead Ohio State. They went to like the Final Four that year. I think.
Yeah,
Was that the year they lost to Florida?
Yeah, lost to
Was
Florida.
that Florida's second of the back-to-back?
I want to say second, yeah. They won in football and basketball in 06.
Yep, that's right. Al Horford went third after Greg Oden. That draft, man. Greg Oden, Kevin Durant, Al Horford, Mike Conley, Jeff Green, Joakim Noah, a lot of players who played a long time in the league. But Kennedy has a chance to make a lot of money this month and next month. A whole lot of money. Everybody talking about, he should have come back. Or, he should have turned pro. He needs to come back for another year. And, he's late first round. He goes out and keeps playing like he has the last couple of games this month against Kentucky, 2 games with Arkansas, Auburn, tonight on the road at Mississippi State, in the conference tournament, in the NCAA tournament, helps lead Tennessee to an Elite 8 Sweet 16 run. He'll be a lottery pick, I guarantee you.
This is why Kennedy's going to be special. He's already special, but why, when it's all said and done, he's going to be one of the best players in whatever league he's in. Grant Ramey wrote this article about the Texas game, and Kennedy says, after that game, I learned a lot, honestly. I just talked to Coach Barnes and let him know that game was a learning lesson for me. I learned a lot from that game. Sitting and watching the last 4 minutes of that game, I wasn't mad or anything. I was still cheering my team on in that game. After the game, TJ Ford and Kenny Chandler gets together, and Ford takes Kenny Chandler onto the court. He took me onto the court, told me a few things just about the game and what Coach Barnes expects and what he's learned from him as a player. Ever since that game, my mindset has changed. So TJ was able to kind of tell Kennedy, okay, this is how you see it through Coach Barnes' eyes. Like, this is what he is looking for. Remember, the point guard is always an extension of the head coach, just like a quarterback is on a football field. And so sometimes you don't see what the coach sees. Well, TJ Ford, who played for Rick and was All-American player for Rick and took that team to the Final Four, knows what Rick is looking for from his point guard. So TJ was explaining that, showing Kennedy what it means to play point guard for Rick Barnes. But you are the superstar, man. You are the 5-star player that's getting NIL deals. Everyone's telling you how great you are, and in the last 4 minutes of the game, you're not in there. And I watched his reaction. He didn't pout. His body language was positive. Like, I remember Rick Barnes' most successful team here. That team that lost to Purdue. And if you remember, Ben, there was a starter on that team that in the late game moments, it wasn't as clean as that. And so that just speaks to Kennedy's maturity, and I think where he's going to be here soon. For him, it's all about getting better.
Yes.
That's what it's about. It's all about getting better. That's why he's here.
Yes, because he knows what Rick Barnes can do for him.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Yes, and one thing, I'm glad that you brought that up, kind of Kennedy's quotes about sitting on the bench at the end of the Texas game. I'm glad you brought that up because I've been wanting to say the last week or so that we as fans just assume within that moment, Kennedy's transferring. Rick, what is Rick doing with Kennedy? He's on the bench. Kennedy's mad at the world. Kennedy's going to transfer this and that. We just assume that the player is PO'd in that moment and is automatically going to leave. Justin Powell, the running joke, if you want to call it that, this year because of his lack of playing time at times has been, it's just going to transfer at the end of the year. Look at Rick wasting this talent. He's just going to transfer. Jonas Adu, same situation. And there's been guys like that in the past that Rick felt that way about. Jaden last year, Keon or that fans felt like Rick was ruining. But these kids view it completely differently. Completely differently. Kennedy's appreciative for kind of how Rick is handling him so far this year. And Justin Powell's the same way. Go listen to any Justin Powell interview, and his maturity and understanding of the process is clear. Like these kids don't think the way that some of them do, but for the ones this year that we assume that, oh, Rick's ruining it. Justin Powell, Kennedy Chandler, Brandon Huntley Hatfield, Jonas Adu. I won't speak for Brandon, but because we don't hear from him as often. But for like Kennedy and Justin, who we do hear from pretty often, they say the complete opposite. Like they are appreciative for how Rick is coaching them hard and understand that Rick has their best interest in heart.
You know the old saying, man, the apple does not fall far from the tree. And kudos to Kennedy Chandler's father. Kudos to Justin Powell's father and his parents, mom and dad, because I thought about Mac Jones, quarterback with the Patriots, played at Alabama, and when he blew up last year at Alabama, they started talking about how his father was involved with making sure that Mac Jones prepared. And when his time came, that he was ready. They embraced the process. Just worried about getting better. Don't worry about not playing. Yeah, Tua's here. Yeah, this guy's here. Bryce Young is here. Yeah, they're bringing all these guys in. But you just learn. You just worry about getting better each and every day. And then when your time comes, you'll be ready. And that's what Mac Jones did. And you got to give a lot of credit to his parents, of course, Mac Jones, too, his maturity. But his dad wasn't in his ear. Oh, man, they ain't playing you. Man, come on. You can throw the ball like that. You can do that. Oh, man, they playing favoritism. Then you get that in your son's head. He starts believing it. Now his approach is all messed up. Now he's starting to become selfish. Now he's not going to work as hard. He doesn't see the bigger picture because you're putting that filth in his head. So it starts at home, man. It really does. So big ups to Kennedy Chandler's family, dad. Mm-hmm. Big ups to Justin Powell's family, dad.
They are completely bought in.
Yeah, man.
And there's this theory when Tennessee is embarrassed by Kentucky and when Tennessee is embarrassed by LSU and Baton Rouge and the somewhat of the Texas debacle there in the first half and beginning of the second half, and Texas Tech, you couldn't score. Everybody jumps to, Rick has lost this team. No. Go listen to any Kennedy Chandler or Justin Powell interview, and if you continue to think that thought after you listen to them, I just can't help you. And here's the other thing. Go watch the players interact with one another. Rick has never at once lost this team the way that some people want to make it out to be, or lost his touch. And like Rick, the last couple of weeks has done a really good coaching job, making adjustments, and Tennessee is paying off those adjustments. He'll have to make some more now that Olivier's out. But really since the Kentucky game, Rick Barnes and his coaching staff deserve a lot of credit because they've been pressing the right buttons to kind of get the season back on track.
Auburn football has shown us, like, you can truly love something to death. Like, you can love something too hard and in the wrong way and stifle its growth. And I think the same thing can be said for parents. Like, you love your kid, it's good, but, like, you can hinder their growth by the things you say and put into their head. So, great message.
Looking at you, Elgin Bates, father of Imani Bates. And that is like well documented that daddy is an issue there for Imani Bates. And look at him. Look how he was one of the top prospects in the entire world of basketball 2 years ago, and now, I mean, teams don't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole.
865-255-03. We'll take our first break of the day. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour one, brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Be right back.
If you want to be part of the show, call the Irish Networks hotline at 865-200-5503.
Hello?
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. In this day and age, the way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area or online at ofonox.com or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to hamptoninn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Time for around the SEC. Woo! Let's go, Ben. Let's get it, man. Is Auburn, they hire Hugh Freeze yet? What's going on?
Not yet. Not yet. We'll touch on football here in a moment. Just to rehash what happened last night in SEC basketball. Arkansas beat Auburn 80-76 in overtime. Auburn's 19-game winning streak comes to an end. Kentucky beat South Carolina 86-76 on the road. LSU beat Texas A&M on the road 76-68. And then Vanderbilt beat Missouri 70-62. Tonight, we've got 3 games. Georgia at Florida at 6:30 on the SEC Network. Florida is 14-point favorites. At 8:30 p.m. on the SEC Network, Alabama at Ole Miss. Alabama is 5-point favorites. And then the best game of the night is at 9 p.m. on ESPN2. Number 19, Tennessee at Mississippi State. Tennessee 1-point favorite as of this morning. So that's what's going on in the world of SEC basketball. In the world of SEC football, Vanderbilt had some movement yesterday because Michigan hired its defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, to be the Wolverines' new defensive coordinator. Jesse Minter is a former Ravens assistant and is now headed to coach for Jim Harbaugh. And Vanderbilt just promoted Nick Howe to be the new DC. He brings 9 seasons of coordinating experience from his time at Virginia and BYU. He'd recently been hired as Vanderbilt's DB's coach. So, new DC there at Vanderbilt as the old one left for Michigan and Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, the Harbaugh brothers have been trading assistant coaches for the last couple of years, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, smart.
But
they're both good coaches.
You can see the correlation between last couple moves from Michigan to the Ravens. I mean, there's always some type of tie, and this is no different.
Yeah, for sure. It was a kind of a quiet day on the SEC football front. Nothing really that new with Auburn football, but there were 2 other coaching movements in addition to the Vanderbilt DC moving on. An off-the-field staff member at Florida, Paul Pasqualoni.
Oh, former Syracuse head coach.
Yeah. Yes, the former Syracuse head coach, who I don't know how to pronounce his name.
You said it right. You said it right.
Yeah.
Pasqualoni.
Yes. Spent 14 years at Syracuse. He is now 72. He is going to be the defensive line coach with the Carolina Panthers. So Florida and Billy Napier losing an off-the-field staff member, which is pretty impressive that Billy Napier was able to get a former head coach in that type of role there in Gainesville. South Carolina is expected to hire ex-Gamecock and NFL linebacker Devontae Holloman in a support staff role. He had been the head coach at South Point High School in South Carolina and led the team to a state title last season. And then the last thing I've got for you, Swaino, is Auburn Arena is going to have a new name. As of March 4th, Auburn Arena will be known as Neville Arena, in recognition of donors Bill and Connie Neville. They must have paid off the buyout for Brian Harsin.
Exactly.
So Auburn Arena. And Auburn fans are not happy. And I don't blame them. I would not be happy with this name change. I would not be happy with it.
As long as they are dropping the check, then whatever.
That's one way to look at it. Ooh, by the way, I meant to mention this yesterday, actually. We talked about the LSU jerseys that are being sold. Florida has joined the party. After we had that discussion on Monday, later that afternoon, Florida announced that coming this fall, Gator Nation will get order customized Jordan-branded jerseys of their favorite Florida football players, while athletes will be compensated for each sale. So Florida has joined the jersey party, and I expect every major university to join this. I mean, it'd be stupid not to. Absolutely stupid.
Yep. So get ready, Tennessee fans. It's more than likely coming.
And these players can make a ton of money off of jersey sales. A ton of money. I don't know what their cut would look like and all the details, but still, I would imagine they would make a ton of money off of it.
Yeah, I hope they do, man. I hope they do. 247 put out a best facilities in 2022, and the SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams on it. In the top 10, Oregon number 1, A&M number 2, Alabama 3, Clemson 4, Georgia 5, Ohio State 6, South Carolina 7, LSU 8. 9 is Northwestern, and Texas is 10. Before anybody who's a Tennessee fan gets up and gets all upset, pump the brakes. It's not the 90s. It's not the early 2000s. Things have changed. So embrace it and upgrade, improve, and we'll be in that top 10, hopefully.
Yeah,
But
Tennessee's kind of fallen behind in the facilities arm race all across campus. Neyland needs renovations, and that is something that they're in the process of. Thompson Bowling could use some renovations, I would imagine.
Really?
It's not very aesthetic.
I mean, well, on the outside, yeah, but like inside, I mean, what else can you do on the inside? I mean, you got 20,000 plus seats, and you got nice area for the long money people up top.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was more so talking about like kind of the underbelly.
Yeah.
Kind of starting to look a little old.
Yeah, but but football,
it's not
baseball,
a priority.
Football and baseball for sure. Yeah.
Yes, TBA is not a priority, but if you had the extra cash, it'd be nice to. But we should paint TBA orange and white, like the basketball warm-up pants. Wouldn't that be cool? A striped orange and white TBA on the outside. That would look dope. That would be a big time vibe. But yeah, football facility.
Yeah.
Kind of falling behind. Neyland falling behind in terms of just Neyland's more so just updating it because it's so old.
Yeah, but just
baseball
the
is what it is.
Just the everyday facilities that the players use. You know, that needs to step up a little bit. And I'm looking at some of the comments here. And it's not the early 2000s, and I think some of our fans need to understand that. It's not like you have been to other arenas and facilities. So how would you know? How would you know what other teams have done to upgrade? We have not upgraded like that. We had one that was going on when Derek Dooley was the coach, and then Butch Jones took over, and then so you had that extension over there. But really, since then, it was 6-7 years ago. What do you think other people are doing? You think other people are not working and raising money and building when you are not? I think it's pretty naive to think that other schools are not upgrading and building on, and like A&M stuff is ridiculous. I heard. I've also seen videos of Georgia and Alabama. We know Clemson went through a major one when they had the slide and all that stuff. We saw LSU go through one with their locker rooms. South Carolina just went through one as well. Also spent $1 million for that chicken.
You mean the cock?
Yeah, the big old cock in front of the stadium for some reason. They spent $1 million for that. It looks ridiculous. The bronze gamecock.
The bronze cock.
But this is why there's a push. That's why there's a push for fundraising. That's why it's a push for renovations, because our administration, they have looked at other facilities. They have seen other facilities. They have done their research on other facilities. So I just think it's easy for us as fans just to see a list and go, oh, no, Tennessee's top 10 easy. Yeah, top 10 years ago. 10 years ago. So doesn't mean ours is bad. Just means, hey, other folks have done things more recently, and you have to try to stay within the top 10, and you have to be in the arms race as far as facilities. You're trying to appeal to recruits. So Oregon's number one. No one's going to pass Oregon. But is Oregon the best football program in the country?
Nope.
No. So it matters to be one of the best, but you don't have to be the best. You just better have some nice stuff.
And Tennessee does have nice stuff.
Yeah, you just need nicer stuff.
That's what recruits don't pick off of facilities. They don't. Not the ones that I talk to. The ones that I talk to pay attention to the facilities, but there's a realization and understanding that at these top schools, everywhere you go is going to have nice facilities and everything that you need to be successful, both from a academic standpoint, from a weight room standpoint, a nutrition standpoint, a locker room and kind of clubhouse area, the people who are within those environments as well. All these recruits recognize, at least the smart ones, they recognize that all these top schools are going to have nice facilities. So I have not heard of a kid picking a school based off of a facility.
No, it's not the main thing.
It's a cherry on top. It's nice. But again, all these kids realize that every school that they're visiting is going to have nice facilities.
Yep. No, I agree with you. I agree. 865-255-03. So just know that you have nice facilities. Just need to upgrade a little bit. That's all. Just upgrade just a little bit. You'll be good to go. And you never really get satisfied. It's never over. You still have to, even when you complete a project, you got to think about the next project that you're going to do in 5 years or in 10 years, because the competition is going to upgrade too. So it never stops. It never stops. 865-255-03. Check out the text box. VFL 99 says, I agree with Ben. Stripe TBA would be fire.
Yes.
Like on the outside?
Yes.
So like, you mean paint the outside like the basketball warm-up pants?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I don't really know how to describe this, but you know kind of how like TBA has kind of they look like kind of bumps. They kind of like rows. You know what I'm talking about? I don't really know how to explain that.
You don't need to explain it, Ben. You, like Volstorm said, you're trying to turn TBA into a circus tent.
Well, if Volstorm disagrees, then I think it'd be a great idea. If Volstorm disagrees and doesn't think something will look good, then it looks good. But they got these like little stripe things. I don't know how to describe that. Like the design of the building, it's like little bumps. And if you could paint one orange, the one next to it white, so on and so forth, it look dope.
I think you could use a nice coat of paint.
We need to make it pop.
I think you could use that.
What color would you keep it the same color? I don't like the color.
I don't either.
What if you could choose the color? What would you paint it?
Black.
Mr. Creativity.
Black. Volstorm. Black. Black on black on black. I don't know, but I would do something to the outside. I would give it a little facelift. But I think inside, man,
yeah, the inside looks beautiful.
I can't wait to get up in Thompson Bowling Arena, man.
Woo. Aren't you going to the Kentucky game next Tuesday night?
I'm ready. I'm ready to go, man. It's gonna be late. I'm ready to go. Let's get it.
Late and lit.
That's right. It's gonna be late and lit as long as Tennessee is
gonna be litty.
As long as Tennessee is competing and not let what happened last game against Kentucky happen.
Does Auburn right now feel like the Tennessee team that was ranked number 1? Because Auburn has not played well since they were ranked number 1. They have not looked like the Auburn team that got them the number 1 ranking, and that's kind of how we all felt about Tennessee after it beat Gonzaga, got the number 1 ranking, and then the next couple of weeks it didn't really look to the eye that they were the number 1 team in the country.
I mean, no, they have not played like the number 1 team in the country since they've been number 1, but man, when you're chasing something and then you finally get it, it's hard to have that same fire, desire, that burn, that same sense of urgency inside when you have obtained what you've been chasing. Bruce's team that went number 1 beat Memphis. I mean, they turn around and lose against Vanderbilt. Like it's that it's that release that gets you in trouble. Auburn has played better as a number 2 team or a top 5 team, just like Tennessee played better when it was a top 10 team,
it's
top
hard.
5 team. But when Tennessee was number 1 a couple years ago, it's like, I don't know. It's not the team that played like they played against Gonzaga that time, or played in this game. But it's for Auburn though. You can treat it as a good thing as you are approaching the NCAA tournament. Like, this was a nice lesson. Window green, the game is tied. You got a ball screen. You don't have to shoot the ball from the logo. You were driving the ball to the basket all game long. Why are you shooting it from the logo? So that's a nice teaching moment. You'd rather it happen in that game than happen in the NCAA tournament game.
You think Bruce is behind closed doors using that three-point shot as a teaching moment?
Absolutely.
Because after the game, he said, well, if it went in, we would have won.
He's backing his players. He's always done that to a fault.
But I can also see him saying that in private, too.
I bet he ain't saying that in film study. Like, hey, man,
so?
good decision. Great decision, Wendell. You've been driving the ball to the basket all second half. Walker Kessler has been a beast. But reject the screen and shoot the ball from the logo.
Oh, I hate it.
Great decision, Wendell. I bet you Bruce Pearl's not saying that in the video film room.
I hope that he is.
He's not. You know that.
No, surely he isn't. Steph Curry has ruined basketball in that regard. Everybody wants to make that shot like Steph. You don't need a three. You don't need it. And yes, if they would have made it, they would have won, and it would have been an awesome shot. But it's not the smart shot.
John K. says the outside of TBA is metal siding.
Sorry, what?
Metal siding. The outside of TBA that you're trying to paint.
That's what people call it.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Big Bad Voodoo Nate says black would make TBA a Dutch oven. King Vol says paint TBA dark mode, orange and black. Oh man. Vol fan says the Tennessee number one team kept their ranking for a month, not 2 weeks like Auburn. Well, the time possessing the number one ranking, it's not the conversation we were having, but you're right. The conversation that we have, the point is, like, they, since getting the number one ranking, they did not play like the number one team. In Tennessee, a couple years ago, when they were not number one, they actually played like the best team. Remember, there was a conversation about who was better between Duke and Tennessee. And Duke had Cam Reddish, Duke had freaking Zion Williamson, and Duke had R.J. Barrett. Two guys that were all lottery picks in the NBA. And the conversation was, who is the best team in the country, Tennessee or Duke? But when Tennessee got the number one ranking, they did not play like the best team in the country. Similar to Auburn, they have not played like the number one team in the country since having that ranking. Almost losing to Georgia, and then obviously their game yesterday. So, yes, you're right, Volfe, but that wasn't the conversation or the point that was made. Tina R says, I'm coming to town this weekend for the Vols and Lady Vol games. Oh, yeah. Love to see it. Tina R, be good to see you again. Can't wait to see good people come into town for a basketball game.
Tina's the GOAT.
That's why I love football season, because people come in town and get a chance to meet listeners and meet new Tennessee fans.
But I also enjoy when football season is over, because I don't have to chauffeur people like Big Shot Rob around anymore. Like, all he did when he was in town was ask me to drive him everywhere.
I was Rob chauffeur too, man. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Had a good time. Sean Reed says, stick to radio, Ben. Don't do designs. Stripes will be awful.
No, they won't.
And Sean would know, because that's what he does for a living. Hour 2 coming up.
In this day and age, The way we work is changing and evolving. Businesses still moving forward despite your work location changing and supply shortages affecting a number of different areas. Office furniture is not immune to the halt in the supply chain. This is why Office Furniture Outfitters has purchased desks, chairs, and tables in bulk to provide you with in-stock options for your place of business, no matter if it's in an office building or at your house. Office Furniture Outfitters is the local supplier for Herman Miller, and they keep Aeron chairs in stock. They will come to your office, lay out, and make recommendations. No project is too big or too small. You can visit them on location at 17th Street and Grand Avenue in the Fort Sanders area, or online at ofonox.com, or give them a call at 865-524-3003. Office Furniture Outfitters, providing East Tennessee's biggest selection and best value for office furniture since 1995.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Hey there, Swain Event fam. I've been thinking about other ways I can assist you with the real estate world. As you know, it's not just about buying, selling, and investing in new property today. It's also being a resource when you need a contractor or roofer. Or maybe you need a real estate attorney to assist with probate questions. Or maybe you have a family member in Alabama that needs a realtor to help them sell their home and get the heck out of there and back to Tennessee. All of these things and more are in my wheelhouse. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. And go Vols!
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
I know missing the show live is a bummer, but don't fret. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Awesome!
Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Let's get to hour two here, and let's start hour two going to the Irish Networks hotline. Let's bring in Jay. Jay, good morning.
Swain, good morning, brother.
What's up, man?
Hey, I'm living, buddy. You know, Swain, I would like to. Y'all was talking about renovation. I'd like to see Thompson. I'd like to see Tennessee. This ain't gonna happen, but I'd like to see Tennessee get a new arena that's better set up for basketball.
What's wrong with it now?
And it's too big. It's the students are too far away. They're behind the basket. You know, you see what Ole Miss did with their new arena, what Auburn did. You see what Alabama's about to do with their new arena. Their seatings are somewhere between like 12 and 15,000. And they set it up to where the students are right on the court, you know, on the side, kind of like what Auburn does. I'd like to see Tennessee do something like that. I mean, it's a nice arena, but, you know, I'd like to see it a little bit smaller and the students closer to the court and kind of on the side, kind of like what you see with Duke and what a lot of these schools are doing with their new arenas.
What would you put the capacity at if you were in charge?
I think the perfect capacity. See, I'm a fan, or I'm a proponent of. I want Neyland to stay above 100,000, but I actually think Thompson Bowling could downgrade their capacity, and I'd put it somewhere like around 14 or so. Because what are we at right now? Around 20?
21, 6, 7, 8, according to Google.
I put like around 14 or 15, and it would look better for Lady Ball games.
I wouldn't make a decision. To be quite honest, I would not make a decision based off of what it would look like for the Lady Vols game. If anything, put the black curtains up and put everybody in the lower bowl. And put everybody together instead of spacing them out. I like the way Thompson Bowling is set up, and I realize that it would be better to have them along the court the way you are describing, but also they take up half the side of the court right now as it is. I mean, that side of where Tennessee's bench is, that side of the court gets really, really loud during games because they are behind the basket, and they also bleed over a couple of sections down the side of the court as well. They're that whole corner over there opposite of Tennessee's bench, and for big games, I mean, they are extremely loud and effective, in my opinion. And then, I mean, it kind of stinks that the other team will only shoot on that end for one half of the game, in front of the students for one half of the game. But I don't think that's as bad as some make it out to be. Not saying that you are just making it seem like the end of the world, but some do, and I don't think that's the case. I like Tennessee's capacity, honestly.
If you could make a decision of what you would have it, and where you would want the students to be seated, like I would want students to be seated like Duke. I would want students to be seated like Auburn. I don't want students on one side of the court. I want them right in the middle. I want them affecting the game. So there's really no way to do it right now. I think you're too knee deep in how things have been here for a very, very long time. But like football's the same, basketball is the same here. Yeah, the crowds are big, and the crowds can get loud. And when they are loud, like it's one of the best environments in the country. But like ideally, you want students affecting more of the game more of the time, and the students being seated right along the right at half court and right at midfield, right by the visitors' bench, that affects the opposing team more than anything. So I'm with you. I'm with you, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I know it's just a pipe dream. I mean, I know we're not about to build a new arena, but I mean, Thompson Bowling is really nice.
It is.
I've never been to Rupp Arena, but to me, it looks nicer than Rupp Arena. Now, Ben, you could probably maybe speak on that, but or Swain, if you've been up there. But I do agree, we got to paint the outside. We got to do something to Thompson Bowling. I mean, it's just the outside of it. I'll brick it up. I don't know. Do something to it.
Don't do stripes, according to Sean Reed. He said that wouldn't be a good. But I mean, a little paint, man. A little paint would.
It would look better than what it looks like right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, a little paint wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. So, Ben, what's the nicest arena you've been in?
Auburn, because it's brand new. Because it's brand new. But I'm sorry. I prefer Tennessee's arena more than I do Auburn's arena. I wish the students were positioned at Tennessee like they are in Auburn, but that's the only thing that I'm jealous of. Like, there's a reason that arena sits 8,000. They can 10,000. They can market it to, oh, we do it for this reason and that reason. No, it's because you sucked at basketball for a long time.
That's true.
And nobody wanted to show up to games. That's why your arena is what it is. And if I would not cut the capacity by 7,000, like you had mentioned, Jay. I mean, maybe if you want to take 1,000 or two off, okay. I mean that's fine. But like Tennessee basketball has one of the best environments for a college basketball game in the entire country, and I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for the environment that we create. I mean, there's been 2 games this year. The Arizona game absolutely allowed the environment is what set up Tennessee to win that basketball game. Arizona peed down its leg the first 10 minutes of the game because they could not think straight because of the environment. And same with the LSU game.
Mm-hmm. Well, Ben, we put 16, 17,000 fans in that arena when we know we're not going to the NCAA tournament.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't think people realize how much Tennessee fans actually like basketball. Mm-hmm. And so I get what you're saying there. And before I get out, guys, the football renovations and stuff, I heard a rumor they're going to either expand the weight room or build another weight room and use the current weight room space for like a player's lounge or something. Have y'all heard anything like that?
I have not, but it makes sense because when you look at the kind of the renditions of the expansion, it had some some player area that was kind of going in the direction of where the practice fields are right now, and that in that direction. So that makes sense because that's where the weight room is currently. Like you can go out the door out of the weight room now and just step right into the practice field. So that makes sense. I mean, goodness gracious, we've done so much with the weight room in the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. But you look around the SEC and, Georgia just did something to their weight room and South Carolina did something to theirs. So it makes sense. I have not heard that, though, Jay.
Yeah, I heard that they're either going to expand the current one or they're going to build a new and bigger one and use that current one as a new player's lounge. So that'll be interesting to see. But, man, this facilities, guys, it's like computer technology.
Yep.
2 years and you're outdated. It's unreal.
Yep. It's like cell phones, man. Every time you turn on TV, there's a new cell phone with like an extra camera. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, before you know it, like I remember when there was an iPhone and you can take pictures. And then a couple years later, it was like a commercial that came out showing you how you can make a movie with your iPhone. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It is crazy, the technology, how much it advances on a daily basis. So before you know it, I mean, these facilities will be outrageous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
they already are.
They already are. It's never ending. It's never ending, guys. Y'all hang in there, man.
Thank you. Like Thompson Bowling Arena is one of the best places in America to play basketball.
It is.
But if you wanted to create the perfect scenario, because the perfect scenario would be to have the size and the student section being in the proper place, then you would have like a mixture of Duke, Auburn with the Tennessee crowd being at 20,000. Like if you can create the perfect scenario, that's what I would create. But you can't get much better than the atmosphere against Arizona. I remember a couple of years ago when Tennessee hosted Kentucky, when Tennessee was number one in the country that season. They were not number one in that game, but that was the Grant to Jordan Boughton alley-oop dunk.
Which game?
When Tennessee hosted Kentucky.
Yes.
And beat the brakes off of them. Like that place was bananas.
TBA is an elite atmosphere in college basketball. It really is.
But if you want it perfect, you have the students positioned a little differently. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. I do. If I could make that decision, I would. But I still think we over-exaggerate the student section aspect of TBA. I still think that they have a great, large impact on the game, and that student section is bigger than people realize. But in a perfect world, you would definitely like to move it. If anything, just swap corners. Move the students over to the opposite corner,
visiting side,
and like it would bleed over behind the bench. Because again, I don't think people realize that you see the students right behind the basket, but that's not just the student section. The student section is far bigger than that. It's that whole corner of where the away team, that tunnel they come in and out of, that's where the most of the student section is, above that tunnel. And I can look next time I'm in there, but like they span 3, 4, 5 sections of that corner, and they bleed over to where they do run along the side of the court by like 1 or 2 sections. So if anything, flip them to the opposite corner, and they can be behind the opposite basket, and then bleed over. The way that it's situated now, it would bleed over, and they would be behind the visiting bench. They would. So flip that, or if anything, I'd like to see a way to have the section that is right behind the basket closer to the floor. I don't know how you would do that, but it seems like that section of the students that are right behind the basket, it seems like they're kind of far away.
They are really far
from the floor. And Tennessee also does a good job of putting students on the floor in that corner as well. Remember Taco Man in the taco suit? Like, those students are right there on the floor. Some of them, there's 2, 3 rows. And I don't know off the top of my head of another SEC arena that does that, where students are literally on the floor. They have courtside seats, like 3 rows of them, behind the basket and along the side of the court, but right before you get to kind of the TV booth and the season ticket holders.
Yeah.
So I do think Tennessee student section is better than people realize. But in a perfect world, you would like to have a Duke or Auburn setup. But let's also not forget that they have to do that for a reason. They're doing that because it's a small arena.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really have anywhere else.
I wonder like what's the student situation in Syracuse, because Syracuse, they're number 1 every year in attendance because they have a huge arena, or the Carrier Dome, which is where they play football too. So like, I wonder where their students are positioned at Syracuse.
Looks like they, just looking at the photos, looks like they are located directly behind one of the baskets.
Oh, there it is. 865-255-03.
And I mentioned the Arizona game and the LSU game. It's not just those elite games that Tennessee hosts either, in which the crowd is a great atmosphere, an elite atmosphere. When Kentucky comes to town next Tuesday night, Thompson Bowling Arena will be on fire. When Arkansas comes to town next Saturday, that game time still has not been announced, which is weird. But regardless of whatever time that game tips off, Thompson Bowling, or not next Saturday, but it's the last Saturday. They go to Arkansas next Saturday. But Arkansas does come here. When they come, it'll be in fuego. When Auburn comes in a couple of Saturdays, the roof might cave in from the noise or skyrocket into space because of the noise. But it's not just the big games. It is the Florida game this year. That was a 6 p.m. tip-off, and it was a late arriving crowd because it's hard for people to get off work and get there. But when people did get there, I mean, it's a Wednesday night, and Thompson Bowling was loud, very loud. And some of the other games like A&M against lesser opponents that aren't the perceived big-time matchups, TBA gets loud. The fact of the matter is that Tennessee fans are one of the best fan bases, most passionate fan bases in the country, and it doesn't matter if it's football, if it's men's basketball, if it's women's basketball, if it's baseball, softball, if it's got a T on it, Tennessee fans are going to show up and passionately cheer their team on. I mean, you saw it this past season with the Lindsey Nelson Stadium in the Super Regional. So I don't think the atmosphere at TBA gets enough credit amongst national media members and even amongst some Tennessee fans. I mean, me and my buddies had this conversation the other day where one of my buddies was spouting off all these other schools that have elite atmospheres, and I'm like, you can't tell me that the Arizona game and all these other games when Tennessee clinched the SEC, when Admiral stole that pass on the sideline and dunked it, I thought TBA was going to crumble from all the noise. I love it. I love it inside of TBA, as you can tell.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell for sure. Sorry, Daisy says TB12 headed to Tennessee. I bet. I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
It would be a great landing spot for him. We kind of talked about this last week. I mean, the Titans were able to pull that off, then I mean, it'd be a great position for him. If I were him, I'd try to go back home to San Francisco.
Chris on the text box says, what are the current renovations happening at Neyland now? Well, they're adding some club seating in the lower bowl, right around the 50-yard line. They'll be adding a new jumbotron opposite the big one that's currently there, and they'll be adding a club bar type of area where you can watch the game and stand up and hang around the bar. So a couple different renovations going on right now. And I have not seen a recent picture of Neyland, but the day after the last home game, man, they were getting to work. So I can't wait to see what it looks like. I really can't wait.
Speaking of the Titans, did you see that A.J. Brown swing yesterday? He'd be a great replacement for Freddie Freeman after Freddie Freeman signs with the Yankees here in a couple weeks. Braves are going to need a new first baseman after Freeman signs with the Yanks.
He frustrated, man.
A.J. Brown would be a good option. A.J. Brown had a pretty swing. But he is one of the few athletes, if not, I can't remember if I read the first one or one of like three to play in both the Under Armour All-American football game and baseball game. He's drafted by the Padres in like the 19th round.
He's
a freak.
He's still mad about that game in the playoffs, man. He's trying to channel his injury in a positive way and not getting in trouble. He's frustrated. Man, that wasn't a nice swing, though. That was like a Bo Jackson type of swing right there.
He doesn't have anything to do. It's like my guy Kari. On his Instagram, he's been posting on his Instagram story, hey, give me things to do in Nashville. I don't know what to do. It's first off season in the league where I haven't been in school, and I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah, that's some coffee shop just chilling yesterday for a couple hours. Somebody help my guy Kari out. Give him something to do.
5 Cent Vol says, Ben, shut your mouth.
You shut your mouth.
He ain't going to the Yankees, or at least I hope not, to my Freddie Freeman.
Braves tripping.
Still ain't signed him yet?
Well, they can't right now because they're in the lockout.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
we might not have any baseball for a while.
Well, we have college baseball. Starts next Friday.
Well.
9 days, baby.
You know what I mean.
I know.
Major League.
But the Braves are tripping. They don't want to give him an extra year or two, despite all that Freddie has been through in that organization and done for that organization. It's ridiculous. It's not how you treat guys who you're going to retire their jersey. You are going to retire Freddie Freeman's number 5, and you do not treat him the way that the Braves are treating him this offseason.
No, you can't do that, man. You gotta show love to your to the cornerstones of your organization. Simple as that, man. There's some DBs I've seen hit the portal, Ben. I've been watching the portal. I've seen a lower level All-American DB hit the portal. I've been seeing some defenders
from MTSU.
Mm-hmm. I've been, that's an area where Tennessee certainly needs to address. I saw Lincoln Riley's comments. I was rolling.
I was laughing too.
I was rolling at Lincoln Riley's comments because OU fans are, hotter than fish grease right now. And as a Tennessee fan, you're kind of sitting back and watching the dumpster fire at Auburn and kind of what happened at OU. OU's been able to kind of bounce back a little bit with a nice hire. But they still lost a lot of players. And yesterday, Lincoln Riley was on Colin Cowherd, and he said, we didn't take players from Oklahoma. We took players from the transfer portal. Those players and their families had to make a decision to stay at that university or to enter the portal where they could be recruited by anybody. Technically, he ain't wrong. He could have left OU to go to USC and not reached out to any player at all. And those players on their own got into the transfer portal, and he recruited him just like everybody else recruited him. He could be telling the truth, but like who? I mean, who's really buying what Lincoln Riley says with that one?
Well,
It's hilarious though.
Oklahoma beat writers have reported that did not happen.
I mean, if I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm recruiting my old players too. That's layup. I'm taking layups.
Right. You're not going to recruit Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's layups. And man,
it's just that he's lying through his teeth.
Well, he's a coach. That's what coaches do.
Correct. Unless you're Rick Barnes or Tony Vitello or Josh Heupel.
Or Kelly Harper.
Or Karen Weekly. AKA, unless you're a Tennessee coach. That does not happen. But the Oklahoma media has not necessarily like tweeted it out or written a story on it, but on the message boards over in Oklahoma, in Norman, the reporters and media members have alluded to it. Like if you connect the dots, then you can understand that Lincoln was tampering.
Wouldn't you not do the same thing if you were in that position?
I absolutely would. I just wouldn't go on national TV and lie about it and bring more attention to it. I don't know the question that was asked, but I would avoid discussing it if I could. I would not say what he said to just avoid bringing attention to it.
I would be just like Jimbo Fisher. I would be just like Nick Saban. I would be just like politicians. And I would get up there and lie straight through my teeth and get upset about it and point the finger to the other side. Whatever it takes. That's what I would do as a coach, which is why I'm not a coach, because I couldn't, like, that's not my personality. I couldn't do that. But that's what we're seeing. Like, Lincoln Riley, to say all he said with a straight face. Jimbo Fisher, to say all he said with a straight face. Nick Saban, to say all he said with a straight face. It's like, how do you do that? That is a talent. That is a skill to sit there and not tell the truth and not say the truth. And you didn't even wink. You didn't even breathe, basically. It seems so natural. It's actually kind of believable. It's a skill, man. It is a skill that these coaches have. That they are really good at not telling the truth. I like how Lincoln put it, though. It's kind of funny. Maybe Lincoln keep some of those players in California and not let them go to Alabama. Maybe it helps Tennessee. Who knows? But Nico is available, and Nico's not locked in to go to USC, so it ain't hurt Tennessee.
What's his last name?
Nico.
Nico.
That's his name.
Yamaliva.
What'd you say?
Yamaliva.
That's not what Austin said yesterday.
Austin's wrong.
It's close. It's closer today than it was yesterday before Austin joined us. So you're ahead of me. That's for sure.
Yamalava. Hot lava.
That's not it either. It's definitely not it. It's not hot lava. But when you see him throw, you might want to call him just hot lava because boy throwing flames out there, man. 865-255-03. Hour 2 is brought to you by Action 247. Be right back.
The conversation doesn't stop when the show is over. Follow the Swain Event on Twitter and like the show on Facebook.
Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in 42nd Street. Brand, strategy, design.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com.
I know missing the show live is a bummer, but don't fret. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Awesome!
Touchdown or Turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. It is time for Touchdown Turnover, backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong, better rates and better service. Big game tonight. Tennessee, Mississippi State. It's always a tough place to play. Humphrey Coliseum seats 10,000. The hump is what they call it. First game without Olivier Camroy, went out with the ankle injury, had surgery. So now you have inserted Uros as your probable starter along with Josiah Jordan-James, Justin Powell.
Yeah, that's who you inserted.
Justin Powell, Santiago Vescovi, Kennedy Chandler. Does Josiah continue the streak or the tear? The offensive tear that he has been on the last couple games. Does he continue it tonight? Does he drop 17 or more points tonight for Tennessee against Mississippi State? Do you see Josiah dropping 17 or more tonight? Touchdown, turnover.
I'll say touchdown. Mississippi State, I don't think it's a good matchup for Tennessee in the post. They've got some guys that can really play. Javian Davis, Garrison Brooks, Cameron Matthews. But they're not very good defensively. They're all right, but Tennessee should be able to find offensive success. This is a Mississippi State team that is different than the opponents that Tennessee has faced over the last several weeks. It seems like every game's been a team that is great on defense and so-so on offense or good on offense. But Mississippi State, they're below average on defense and good on offense. According to KenPom, they're the 28th most efficient offense in the country. Defensively, the 81st most efficient defense in the country. So teams have shot well against Mississippi State this year. Teams have not turned it over against Mississippi State this year. They shoot well from three. They get to the free throw line. State, again, they don't force a lot of turnovers. They don't give up a lot of offensive rebounds, and they do block shots. But I think Tennessee's offense, the way that it's been playing, at least last week after the Texas game, really since that 17-2 run to end the Texas game, the offense has looked really good. Theoretically, it should continue tonight when you look at Mississippi State on paper. So I'll say touchdown. I think Josiah gets the 17 points. He's not just playing well. I think the biggest thing for him is just he's kind of had a different mindset, it seems like, the last couple of games, a little more edge to his style of play. So I think that's been his biggest benefit. So I'll say touchdown. I think Josiah scores 17.
Yeah, me too, man. I think he's going to come out and be aggressive early. I think Josiah is kind of the key here offensively because Vescovi, you know what he's going to give you. You know he's going to be able to make open shots. Even if he misses shots early, he's still going to take them with confidence. Kennedy can always create his own shot. We know what Zakai Ziegler is going to do off the bench. Josiah making shots early makes his team different, man. Makes his team different. I think they will try to find ways, either organically or drawing up something for Josiah to get situations where he gets open shots early. Because when the ball goes in the hoop early and he's being aggressive and he's making shots, hey, man, Tennessee hard to beat. And they've proven that over the last couple games. Now, Rick Barnes, he's been successful over old Ben Howland the last couple games. He holds a 10-3 head-to-head record against Ben Howland, 7-2 during his time at Tennessee. Tennessee leads the all-time series 86-44. Tennessee stands at 12th in the NCAA's latest net rankings, and each one of Tennessee's losses, 6 of them, have been to Quad 1 teams. So it's not like Tennessee's out here losing to Georgia or Vanderbilt. I mean, they've lost to some quality opponents, and this is why Rick Barnes always schedules a tough non-conference schedule, and the SEC is better than ever from top to bottom. So that's the silver lining in the record is that
they haven't lost to a team that they should not have lost to. All of their losses make sense. They've been frustrating. They've been embarrassing. But like you said, at least they haven't lost to Vanderbilt or Missouri or Georgia or some team like that or somebody in the non-con like Alabama did when it lost to
Iona?
Yes, Iona. I was trying to think of the school Pitino coaches at. Yes, Tennessee has not suffered that type of loss, which has been terrific. And we've talked about this the last several weeks. Our discussions about Tennessee have been about how can Tennessee get over the hump? How can Tennessee take the next step? How can Tennessee be great, not just good? That's been our conversation. How do you feel about tonight's game? First game without Olivier Camwa. Will be a tough environment. Mississippi State has a solid team. Do you think the 9 p.m. Eastern tip will affect Tennessee? I don't really think that it will because they've played a couple of tips the last couple of weeks.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't.
But overall, how do you feel about tonight's game? You think Tennessee's due for a loss in conference play, especially now that first game without Olivier?
Yeah, without Olivier, defensive presence down low and his athleticism, that bothers me because there's really only one other guy that can provide that type of athleticism inside the paint defensively, and that is John Fulkerson. Uros is not athletic. He's just
big and physical.
He's just big
and has an edge to him.
Yeah, and then Brandon Huntley Hatfield is just he's just not ready. Don't look at me like that. I mentioned him because everybody like to throw his name out there like they don't know what's going on. Like he's not ready.
He's not good right now. AKA he's not ready.
He's not. Yeah, he's not ready. So, folks can get off the message boards. Folks can get off social media. People he's not ready.
I mean, he came in and immediately got a technical on Saturday. He's against Carolina. I was eating lunch at the bar, so I didn't have the volume turned on, and I missed it. But he threw the basketball at somebody when he got his technical. Brandon.
He's not ready, man. I mean, and that's okay. Not every player that reclassifies. Most players who reclassify are not going to just come in college and just dominate. Like it's natural. So, like back to my point, replacing the athleticism and the tenacity and the intensity from Olivier, that's going to be tough, man. That is going to be tough. So that worries me. That worries me.
I wonder if Jonas Adu.
Is it Adu or Adu?
I don't know. Did they have the pronunciation in his bio back there in the back of the game notes? That is there a pronunciation guide right there?
Adu.
Okay, Jonas Adu. So I wonder if he'll get a chance to play tonight. It kind of sounded like he is. And Rick has flat out said all year that he's Tennessee's best rim protector. He said that on Monday morning after he announced that Olivier was probably done for the entire season, just based off of the timeline and him needing to have surgery. He said Jonas is their best rim protector. He sees it every day in practice, but he was sick and missed some time due to injury at the beginning of the year, and that kind of set him back. And he alluded to him needing to learn how to be a college basketball player, and that he has taken that step over the last couple of weeks. And he may be Tennessee's best rim protector, but learning the defensive coverages and learning what to do on offense has been kind of what has held him back. And Rick seemed pretty confident in him taking a step. We'll see if he plays. I mean, I don't see why you can't at least throw him out there. And
see what happens, man. You did it with Hatfield. You throw him out there and saw how.
You just never know.
Yeah.
I want to see him play tonight. Not a ton of minutes, but I'd like to see him play and see if he can provide anything. And let me hear what you think, Swain. I asked Rick, what does Brandon need to do in order to take the next step and really help replace Olivier's production? And he immediately started talking about Jonas.
It tells you all you need to know.
Okay. Rick doesn't send messages through the media to players. He has always been firm in saying that he does not send messages through the media, because what he tells us is the same thing he's telling the players.
Yeah.
So there's no need to send a message, because he's already told them and given them the message that he is telling the media. But that wasn't the case, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't being too big of a conspiracy theorist.
No,
there.
man.
Like I thought that was very telling that I asked directly about Brandon, and he immediately started talking about Jonas.
Yeah, he shifted your energy from Brandon to Jonas because he feels like Jonas should be getting more attention because he has been better at practice and he's developing into a player that can play now, possibly as a freshman. And I did see the comments where Rick said that it's harder than what people think, to come in and just play as a freshman. It's a big adjustment. So I think this is a game where you see Adu, of course, right, because Olivier is hurt, but he has progressed and he has watched other guys go in there and play. So he's learned what to do. He's also learned what not to do. So
Adu has learned what to do.
Adu has learned what to do.
Adu is going to do. Do you think we see more? Do you think we see Rick try to give a longer leash to the post players?
Has to.
Or because Justin Powell is projected as a starter in Tennessee's game notes, and Urosh Is Urosh the only post player listed as a projected starter?
Yeah, Josiah's at the 4.
Yes. So do you think that we see Rick try to force the issue and get another post player to step up, or do you think we'll see him go to the 4-guard lineup and roll with that as much as that he can?
Well, it depends on how Tennessee is able to handle Smith and Brooks. I mean, Smith is 6'11", and Brooks at 6'9". If Tennessee is able to handle their own on the boards and defensively in the paint, then I think you will continue to see Tennessee roll with the small 4-out, 1-in lineup. But if Mississippi State's pounding us and taking advantage of the size, then we may have to go with 2 post players, and that frightens me right now.
Yes, I think the post players will dictate the lineup. If Urosh comes out and plays like he did against Vanderbilt at LSU a couple of weeks ago, then I think that Rick will try to continue to roll with that. If Folke comes out and plays to his potential, Rick will roll with that. If Jonas comes out and shows something there, I mean, he'll roll with that. Or same with Brandon. The best solution for Tennessee is John Fulkerson stepping up, answering the bell, and playing like he did a couple of years ago when he was named an all-conference player. That gets Tennessee from point B to point A the quickest and the easiest and the most efficient.
Yep.
Just if Folke could just be Folke, then this injury will not hurt Tennessee maybe as bad as we may think that it will. Because his minutes in production is replaceable.
Like Folke, you saying Folke just be Folke, but the question is, like, who is Folke?
That's true.
Because it's not.
It's been 2 years now.
It's not Arizona Folke, and it's not Kentucky a couple years ago Folke. That's like best case scenario. That is, everything is right, the stars are aligning.
Right.
But this Folke that we have seen is not going to be good enough to deal with Olivier being out. Like, he has to step his game up to another level. So it has to be better than where it is right now. So we need more action around the basket. Him being more physical, not being the recipient of cheap shots. Like, he always is the victim. Like, I want him to be the aggressor.
Yeah, just like that flagrant.
South Carolina. Like, he always is the victim, man. Like, I want him to start setting the tone.
You want him to throw an elbow and give a shoulder check to somebody?
I mean, yeah. I ain't saying all of that, but it's.
I know what you mean.
I just want a little bit more. That's all.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I just want a little bit more, and we gotta have it. We gotta have it from him now that Olivier's out. 865-255-03. Be right back.
For what?
Is coming up on the Swain Event.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
There are articles and news stories that you read about the things that people do. And when you're reading those and you start to shake your head, you start to scratch your head a little bit, you get confused, you don't understand why, you start to ask questions. But really, there's only one question that matters. What is that question, you may ask?
For what?
I feel like it's fitting. It is so fitting to have this for what, which is going to the state of Mississippi. Tennessee plays Mississippi State tonight, but I'm going to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which is the home of Southern Miss. A mystery smell in the city is likened to sewage and animal corpse. Residents say a mysterious smell that has lingered for months in past years is back in downtown Hattiesburg. The smell has also been reported in areas surrounding downtown, including Petal. I guess I said that right. Some residents say the smell is like ammonia, with others comparing it to the scent of a rotten animal corpse. Ugh. The smell is typically most noticeable in the morning, but sometimes rolls in during the evening hours as well. They cannot find where the smell's coming from and what to do with it. I'm giving this city of Hattiesburg a for what? Mississippi, it just stink. It's simple as that. You just stink. So hurry up, get down there, Vols, get this victory, and get out of there as quick as possible. Oh my goodness. Funky state, Mississippi. Ugh.
I'm sorry for our Mississippi Vols out there, but I ain't never heard anybody say they're going on vacation to Mississippi.
No, not unless it's Tunica. That's it. And you're not really going on vacation. You're just going there for a little bit.
A weekend trip.
Yeah, you're just going for a couple of hours. But
like people would rather go to the beach in Alabama than in Mississippi. Which, if you are Mississippi, that should tell you all you need to know about what people think of you.
Unfortunately, Starkville is not that far away from Hattiesburg. It's about 150 miles. 150 miles away. So get in there, get that win, and get out as soon as possible, Tennessee. You don't want to get any of that funk on you. So that's about for what today. The city of Hattiesburg, it just stinks. Stank. How many minutes will we see Justin Powell get tonight from Chip Payne?
Depends on how Justin Powell plays in the first half. It depends on if he's taking the open shots.
Don't take those. Don't turn down those open shots, Justin Powell. Let those things fly.
Let it fly.
Vola Birmingham says Mississippi State is a different team at home. They have lost one game all year there.
And Tennessee is not good on the road.
And the Bulldogs are perfect at home in SEC play. So in SEC play, they're even better.
Do you think Brad Matthews is cheering for Mississippi State or the Vols tonight? And I asked this because he has a bulldog that he is madly in love with. And his bulldog actually looks like Mississippi State's bulldog instead of that ugly, fat piece of chunk over in Athens.
I think Brad will be cheering for the Vols tonight.
Think?
Yeah.
Or are you hoping? I mean,
I think he will be.
I mean, he's a diehard Ravens fan, but he's going to be cheering for the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So can we really trust him to cheer for Mississippi State? Not cheer for Mississippi State tonight since he has a bulldog?
He'll be rolling with the Vols tonight. He will. I got trust in Brad. I got trust. Jamie G says, any news on Brew McCoy? He is the receiver there at USC that is going to be transferring out. There's connections between him and Tennessee. Several former USC players are on Tennessee's roster. Velus Jones has been recruiting Brew McCoy, but no, there's not any news as of late.
That will be a May decision. His incident. How would you describe it? He's had some legal stuff that he needs to work out, and it has not been yet worked out. Following an incident there at USC.
Yeah, he was accused of domestic violence incident with a female, and there's a lot of witnesses that went against her story, and the case has to be closed.
And it did not get closed.
And it's not closed yet because the NCAA made a rule a couple of years ago where if you had like a domestic violence case, or you can't just transfer and go to a new school. Like, it has to be resolved and closed.
As it should.
Because the NCAA don't. And I agree with this. You have a Joe Mixon situation at OU, and he goes to another school, and there's no type of repercussions or anything. That's not what you want. So that's why they made that rule, but that has to be closed first before Brew McCoy can officially transfer. So latest I've heard that he had a lot of people side with him, suggesting that what he was accused of, he was innocent of. So,
but I think Tennessee's still in a good spot, assuming that all gets cleared. It's just, if he does ultimately come to Tennessee, it won't be until May, until after that does get resolved.
Cedric Tillman needs a running mate.
He's got one.
No, he don't.
Keaton.
He don't have one yet. Ben. Stop playing with me. He needs a running mate. 865-255-03. Hour 3 is coming up. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work from anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Time for Attaboy here on the program, highlighting good stories. And boy, do we have a good one for you today. Attaboy is brought to you by Iris Networks, specializing in quality fiber internet and voice. IrisNetworksUSA.com. And Ben, we got some. We both got the same story here. It's been circulating on the interwebs for a couple days, and even so much that TMZ picked it up and shared the story as well. So I'll let you take it away if you got the article pulled up. If not, then I can try to grab it as well.
Yeah, we're giving Eagles safety Anthony Harris an attaboy because he told TMZ that he flew to Texas to escort a young fan to her daddy-daughter dance after her dad passed away, and he explained why it was a special moment for him. That's what the tweet said. When you click on the article, it reads that Philadelphia Eagles safety Anthony Harris made 11-year-old Audrey Soap's night when he accompanied her to a daddy-daughter dance after her dad passed away. But the pro football player tells us it was also an incredibly special moment for him, too. I try to show fans my support whenever I can, Harris told Harvey and Charles on TMZ Live, adding, it just kind of unfolded organically. Over the past few years, they've been following my career since I was in Minnesota. Harris, the NFL's interception leader in 2019, says Audrey's dad and grandpa recently passed away. So as the dance approached, the Soap family asked Anthony if he'd like to attend. Once it became clear Harris's Eagles were eliminated from the playoffs, the 7-year NFL vet told Audrey he'd love to escort her to the dance in Texas. He said, I thought it would be a great way to uplift her and utilize my platform I've been blessed with to try and brighten people's day and be a blessing to others. Once they arrived at the dance, in style, Harris rented a car with a driver. Anthony says he had a blast. It was a great event. There was a ton of kids there. It was really nice, really cute to see other fathers there. Harris later continued, I was just all about having fun. The DJ was playing a little bit of the Disney music. I wasn't quite familiar with some of those songs, but I had fun embarrassing myself trying to sing those lyrics. But the dancing was fun, and seeing the energy of the other young ladies there and the fathers, it was a great time.
Yeah, man.
So, as the TMZ article concludes, get this man in contention for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award.
Yeah, that's good stuff right there. That's good stuff.
What it's all about.
That's good stuff. This is why I'm okay with people posting their good deeds on social media.
Yep.
And letting people know what they're doing, because I don't like if you do it for the wrong reasons, that's on your conscience. That's on you. But like, show people what are you doing out here, because then that can motivate and inspire somebody else to do the same thing. And then what happens is you have a snowball effect of positivity, a snowball effect of people doing great deeds for other folks, paying it forward. That's why I love these positive stories on social media. And anything can go viral, man. Negativity can go viral. Also, positivity can go viral. So this is a great story. Nice attaboy. Thank you for sharing that with us. 865-255-03. So quiet. Tennessee's football is so quiet right now.
It's a great thing, except for us. Not good for radio. Not good for radio. Auburn media members, Auburn talk show hosts are living the dream right now. They're living through what we lived through last year. But like,
I don't know if I call it a dream, man. I remember those shows in 2017 during that coaching search,
but most like radio hosts, they're not as emotionally invested as we are. So for them, like if they're not an Auburn fan, then it's radio gold, because they can talk about that all day long, and they're not an Auburn fan, so it doesn't bother them like it bothered us when we had to talk about it.
Like Birmingham sports talk radio right now. Ooh.
Oh, I've been listening this week. The callers are incredible, Feinbaum level. It has been incredible. But I agree with what Austin said yesterday. After essentially the decade plus of drama and BS and coaching searches and all sorts of crap, we deserve a quiet off season.
No, we do. We do. And it's been quiet. The only thing that we have had his Josh Heupel OU. That was it.
The
NIL
conversation has been the biggest conversation we've had since the end of the season.
That's true. Yeah.
Which I'm glad we haven't had to talk about that the last 2 weeks. It seems like people are less concerned than they were a month or so ago. It's almost as if folks around the university have it figured out.
I don't listen to what everybody else listens to, so like I wonder, folks that listen to other people cover Tennessee, those same folks that were freaking out over the NIL and saying that Tennessee wasn't doing anything and all that, are they still on that right now? I don't know. I'm asking the listeners that listen to other shows and read other blogs or whatever. Like, are those same people still on that right now?
I haven't seen as much about it on the message board. Which, if it's not on the message board a ton, then
that tells you all you need to know, right?
Yeah. I'm glad that we have gotten over that conversation. I'm sure it'll pop back up at some point this offseason, if not multiple times.
Well, if Tennessee doesn't nail a recruit, it's going to be pointing right to NIL.
Right. Is that going to be the the blame for every recruit lost now?
It's going to be the blame, and it's going to be the reason why Tennessee gets a player. It's not only Tennessee fans, but it's going to be college football fans in general, especially SEC fans. They'll point straight to NIL. If you didn't get a player, it's because your NIL wasn't good enough. If you got a player, it's because your NIL was better than everybody else's. That's going to be the reason. I promise you. But like Jimbo Fisher said, NIL has been going on for years. It just was illegal. And for years and decades, players have went to a place that's paying them. Not necessarily the highest bidder either. Not necessarily. So all money's not good money. And the highest bid is not always the best bid. But better believe that NIL will either get the blame or the praise. I once heard a coach say, praise and blame is all the same. I once heard a coach say that.
Who?
I think he's coaching somewhere. I don't know if he's winning or not, but I did hear a coach say that. Let's get to the phones. Let's get to Turkey Man. Turkey Man, good morning.
Hello.
How you doing, Turkey Man?
Hey, buddy, doing okay. That daggone new toy I got is aggravating. These earwicks. Listening to you, and then I try to call, and then
it's like earwig. You got a Bluetooth earplugs?
Yeah, earwig. Yeah.
You got some.
Yeah.
What do you got? Some AirPods?
Yeah.
Well, look at you stepping up.
You got AirPods, Turkey Man?
Yeah.
Who got you AirPods?
Oh, my brother-in-law.
You have AirPods. The white. You call them earwicks?
Yeah. Well, they stick down, look like a little antenna.
Yeah. Turkey Man. Look at you, man. We're proud of you.
Yeah, I can listen to you guys when I'm in the truck or moving around, or come turkey season, I can have you in my ear and I'll have to listen, and I can call turkey and kind of work both ways. Before I had to either have that cord hanging down and you step on it and you drop it, and it's just aggravating. But anyhow, I know each person has their own what they're looking at. As I was hearing you talk about how people's thinking about it, I think a lot of people like myself, they just kind of wait and see. Because I'm honest. About I've seen some things I'm concerned about.
What's that, Turkey Man? What are you concerned about?
And football wise.
What's that?
From the coaching.
What is that?
Okay. Let's look at if we had not played in the bowl game, my anticipation would have been a little higher. It wasn't the outcome. It was some decisions I've seen in coaching that concern me. And I talked to you. We've talked about this. We talked about time management. We talked about going for a field goal when you really and truly that's you give yourself a chance to win or be in the game, especially in overtime. I've seen some things like that. It kind of concerns me. I look at we have at the end of a half or end of the game, we'll have a 2-minute drill going instead of utilizing timeouts, and we still want to try to speed up when you really and truly got to keep the minutes on the clock, give you a chance longer in the game. And I've seen rush to the line and snap the ball, and you could go over the season. It ain't worked that many times. Hurry up, get the line, and go. We've lost a down in it. Usually end up with a false start over it. So there's some things like that. I'm kind of waiting to see, not wanting to be a negative. When you have an opinion, you look at something. I wouldn't, if we come into this year and we got the same backup quarterback with the same results, and not worked into somebody else that would be a better option from what we've seen, then that's a head scratcher. Doesn't seem what our backup's capable, and he had 3 years of it. And we come back with the same deal, then I'd have a problem with that, because I've done seen this is what we got. We need to improve here. We got to have someone there that we can have in place that actually can grow if our number one quarterback gets hurt. So there's a lot of concerns. It's just wait and see, because those things ain't come to pass yet. But I did see some things that concerned me. I shared with you. And in the coaching aspect, that I just get 2 and 2 don't add up there.
That's fair, Turkey Man. That's fair. I think the in-game coaching in the ball game was not ideal. I thought we got outcoached by Purdue. I mean, it's hard to deny that one. I also look at the entire season, and Tennessee coach staff did a great job as a whole. But in that game should have been over before it was. So that's a fair point. The backup quarterback situation. I mean, who really has a comfortable backup quarterback situation around the country? Like, there's a lot of backup quarterbacks that either have not played or don't have any experience, and you don't know anything about, because you're not going to stack quarterback rooms like you did 10 years ago. So I think every team has concerns at this point of the season, this point of the offseason. I think the tempo concern is legitimate. It's fair.
But also, to Turkey Man's point about it not necessarily working, it worked often.
It worked more times than it didn't.
Yes,
but you can see, like, when you can see how it can get you in trouble if you don't use it to your advantage. You don't use it to your strength. It can work against you if you don't pick up some first downs.
Correct. But, I mean, are we expecting perfection? I mean, it was still an offense that broke numerous program records in the first year while having personnel deficiencies.
Say that again. You said first year, right?
It broke numerous program records in year one while the coaching staff was dealing with personnel issues all throughout the offense. And it not being their guys and taking guys who hadn't had a ton of success in the past and turning them into all SEC players, NFL players, quality football players. So, yes, there were times where I was very frustrated with the tempo. My critique was that, hey, I mean, everybody in the stadium knows what you're about to run on this 3rd and short after you just ran up to the line. And if I know, if my dumb self knows sitting up in the press box, and I guarantee you, though, the defensive coordinator knows. But also, if you go back and you look at the replay of some of those runs that were stuffed on short yardage situations, there was a guy or two or three not executing their block. And if they do execute their block, then it's a first down. So, I mean, I get the frustration, but doesn't all the positives outweigh the concern?
All the positives outweigh the concerns, for sure.
At this point.
Yes, but there are some things that Tennessee will have to answer to here soon.
Yes. I think back to the Alabama game, and 2 of those touchdowns don't happen if you don't go no huddle, get to the line, and snap the ball. Alabama's looking at the sideline, not in position, and Tennessee was able to score 2 long touchdowns off of it. Same as the Kentucky game, the big Baelish touchdown to start the game. And I believe there was another one as well where the up-tempo, the no huddle, hurrying up and getting to the line, caught the defense off guard, and it resulted in touchdowns.
Yeah, the good outweighs the bad for me. The positive outweighs the negative. What Tennessee's offense will have to answer to here soon, and that is when Tennessee is recruiting against some other different offenses inside the SEC. And to recruit at a high level and maintain that level, you have to win. You have to put guys in the league. And Tennessee won more than what they were expected to win. And then you would hope, like this upcoming season, you win a lot more. But then there's going to be another question that Tennessee will have to answer, and that is, all right, who you putting in the league? And how are you helping me get to the league? And when are you developing me to play at the next level? Because Tennessee runs an offense that not one team in NFL runs. Not one team. Now, quarterback, I'm not worried about that. Because if you have command, if you have leadership, if you can make all the throws, if you can read defenses, if you can do it, you can do it, and it translates to the NFL. You will have to learn how to call a play in the huddle, and those play calls in the NFL, it's like mini paragraphs. So you will have to learn how to do that, and that's a learning curve for some quarterbacks, but smart ones are able to make that adjustment. But like offensive linemen, does your game translate from the Josh Heupel offense to the NFL? Receivers, does your game translate? And we'll know that with Cade Mays. We'll know that with Baelish Jones. I think they're going to be key into debunking some of the negative recruiting that's going to go on. That it's going to happen. Like when Tennessee is pulling players from different schools, and maybe it's because of NIL, maybe it's because of early playing time, but schools are going to try to say any and everything to prevent that player from going to Tennessee rather than going to their school. And I'm telling you, one thing they're going to bring up, they're going to try to bring up the NFL stuff. And so Tennessee has to go ahead and nip it in the bud. Other schools were negative recruiting Tennessee, just like Austin said yesterday on the program, saying that Tennessee's going to have sanctions for 3 or 4 years. And they didn't even know that when they were telling recruits that. But they could tell recruits that because Tennessee didn't know either. So there was no truth to be found. Now you can't say that anymore. But now, until Tennessee is able to prove that they can put guys in the league and they're prepared and they're ready to play, now the new lie or truth, we don't know, or the new technique used by other schools negative recruiting Tennessee will be, hey, man, they don't prepare you for the league, though. And that narrative will go on and go on until Cade Mays or Baelish Jones or whoever, Alontae Taylor or whoever, goes and balls out and is on record saying, hey, man, that that offense, that staff prepared me for the league. That's what goes on in recruiting. So I'm not going to sit here and like totally disagree with Turkey Man's call, but I'm not going to be on board with Turkey Man either. I think it's fair to have concerns at this point of the season when you lose players, you got new players coming in, you got some holes to fill. You look at, all right, how we take the next step. You have the sour taste in your mouth from the bowl game. Like, those are all fair feelings from Turkey Man.
Yes, absolutely. I just, when I look at the concerns moving forward with Tennessee, I don't think about the offense.
No, I don't.
I don't at all.
Well,
and there are frustrating.
Cedric Tillman needs running mate.
There are frustrating aspects at times about the offense. I'd like to see more intermediate, not just routes, but just I'd like to see Tennessee attack the middle of the field more. I'd like to see the receivers run more routes than they do. I don't really like seeing receivers taking plays off. I don't like that Hendon doesn't have a ton of progressions to go through. I thought that in short yardage situations, although execution could have been definitely better, I would have liked to have seen more creativity at times instead of continuing to try to do the same thing over and over and over, even though I also recognize that it would have been nice if execution would have been better. But it'd also be nice to switch it up every now and then and have some more creativity. So there are things that frustrate me at times about the offense, but they're small things in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, there's not a offense that we have seen that you couldn't point and say, hey, man, I wish we could do something different here with this offense. Like Mike DeBoer's offense also broke records, and, folks was nitpicking that one. And, you can always find something that you wish was better with an offense or with the defense. It's just hard to play perfect. And at the end of the day, it comes down to execution, and you have to understand that there are good players on the other side too. And so they're going to make their plays, you're going to make yours. What you hope is that at the end of the day, you've made slightly more and you have more points on the board. So for Tennessee, they did that this year more than what anyone expected. So there's a lot to build upon. A lot. But there are some holes. There are some questions. I mean, running back depth, getting you a nice 2 or 3 deep, guys that could do different things, physical, can run with the shoulders down and pick up some tough yards. We have some smaller backs, but now you got Justin Williams coming in. How will he fit in receiver-wise? Like, you lose Valus, so how are you going to replace his production? You lose Cade Mays, but the offensive line is expected to be, pretty good, hopefully better, so that way you wouldn't have to, use walk-ons, during the course of a season, especially primetime SEC play. So there's questions all over the place, just like there was questions at this point last year. So 865-255-03. Let's go to the phones.
Turkey Man wants to follow up with his phone call.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, the thing that wasn't mentioned in what you guys are discussing, and the thing that I just can't get out of my craw is in regular time in that last game, we go deep 2 times. We needed to get, I don't know, first down. We had a makeable field goal, and then you trot your guy out there to kick a really extremely long field goal, which if the other coach had put a return man had an opportunity to return it on you, and it didn't give you a chance to win the game. I mean, if you get your first downs and get in the field goal, he kicks that field goal, we ain't talking about overtime.
But also, if Hendon hits Valus, who was wide open for a touchdown, and the referee calls the holding on Cedric Tillman, that was blatant, then
we got that all
this
year,
phone
bro.
call isn't happening either.
We did that all year.
Did what all year?
We got bad calls all year against us. Ole Miss game is ridiculous. That was part of what we had to deal with. But I just wondered from a coach's standpoint, that's where you're at. The coach gives you an opportunity to put you in the best position to win the game. Now, it's up to the players to make the play. But I agree with you on that. 2 plays. Why didn't we go back and throw the third time?
I don't know if you had enough time to throw it.
At that point, I think they kicked the field goal.
Yeah, you try to kick a field goal.
Yeah, I know, but why? But it's a long one. That's my point.
Well, it's better than, you kick a field goal, a long field goal, you're going to throw a Hail Mary. So
Coach Eckler, Mike Eckler, the special teams coach, and Chase McGrath, the kicker, told Josh Heupel that they felt good about kicking it. So if you're the head coach, are you going to listen to your special teams coordinator and your kicker, or you're not going to listen to them?
Well, I mean, on the same token, if we had not thrown the Hail Mary against Georgia that year, we still wouldn't have a win against in this decade against Georgia. But Dobbs went the long pass and play off the clock instead of kicking a field goal, which everybody thought, I thought, we're working in place for a long field goal. But
the field goal is more likely than the Hail Mary.
Yeah, I know that. But again, it was out of it. It really was out of his range. It was. I mean, it was marked on the field what his range was, and was 10 yards short of it.
He wasn't 10 yards short of it.
It was short.
And didn't Purdue have somebody back there, and it went out?
No, he didn't.
And it went through the end zone and was just short of the crossbar.
No, he didn't have a return man. No, he didn't have a return man. I could even announce the question why they didn't have one. Man, that's my concern. I'll get out of here. Everybody has opinion, and we all love our balls, and we all have our own way we look at things. And talk to you later.
Yeah, I'm with Turkey Man, like questioning the deep balls, and I obviously did take up for like the lack of execution. I would have gone with a different approach in that moment, but Hendon should have hit Velus on that deep ball. Velus had a step. Hendon's got to make that throw. Referee got to call the blatant holding on Tillman. That would have also put Tennessee in better field goal range. I'm not gonna critique that over the offseason when I also watched Heupel at Florida get Tennessee into field goal range with perfect execution at the end of half, and at Kentucky as well.
Juwan Jennings' Hail Mary was a 43-yard touchdown. That field goal would have been 60 yards. Chase McGrath's field goal attempt was 56. May not seem like a lot, but that is a lot. I mean, that's 4 yards. That's different. So, I mean, if he's made those before, then you trot him out there. But, and this is something that we talked about for days after that ball game, is you didn't have to have those deep shots. I mean, you could have hit some 5-yard completions,
like you did at Kentucky,
and move the ball to field goal range like you did against Kentucky and kick the field goal. So yeah, that's on Heupel, that's on Tillman. Excuse me, that's on Hooker and Heupel there, and that's fair. That's fair. But I think the point still remains, there's more positive than not last season. And what this team was able to do with everything that happened with the roster and the sanctions and all the negative pub, this team did a great job last year. The ending was not what we all wanted, because I was mad for 2 weeks. But I'm not letting one game overshadow the entire season. I'm not letting one game make me forget how this team had a chance to beat the ACC champions.
They overachieved.
A history-making Ole Miss team, and they had no business being in that game at all.
No business being down 1 score against the national runner-up, Alabama.
I mean, so this staff did a great job for the entire season. The last game wasn't ideal, but for the entire season, there's a lot to build on. There's a lot of positive momentum for the future. You just got to fill some holes, and every team has concerns across the board. So the Turkey Man is bringing up kind of what I was upset about in that bowl game with the last drive. 865-255-03. Let's go back to the phones after the break. I think Turkey Man's call quota has been reached for the day. So we'll get to somebody else coming up. Stay with us.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. irisnetworksusa.com.
Let's go to the phones. Get to Don on the Irish Networks hotline. Don is on line 1. Don, good morning.
Hey, guys. How are you today?
Good. How are you, Don?
Oh, frustrated, having tech IT problems here, trying to get some business taken care of. So,
I understand.
I've been working on it since yesterday, about to drive me crazy. Hey, talking about Turkey Man's calling, even before he called when you were discussing, I was as frustrated as anybody going after that bowl game. And even earlier in the year when we against Pitt, when after the miss mark, we don't pick up first. However, like as far as going deep those 2 times instead of trying to throw short, I'm sure Purdue had reviewed that Kentucky game, and I couldn't see, just on TV. But maybe that's the reason they did is because they didn't have anything open underneath. I don't know.
There was guys open.
Okay. But was that a call play go deep, or was that Hendon's choice?
I mean, it had to be his choice. I mean, you have a play, you read it based on what the defense is doing, and you never want to take a player's aggressiveness away from them.
No.
If it's open, like you gotta take a shot and hit it, but
sure.
you gotta play percentages too, and the deeper throws are just less less likely to be hit than some of your shorter throws. And in that situation, yeah, like if you hit that deep throw, the game is over. But the shorter throw has a greater percentage of being completed, and you put yourself in a position to make a field goal from a kicker that has been pretty consistent all season long. So it's just about knowing the situation, the moment, your personnel, and that's a great lesson for this upcoming season.
Yeah, it is, and I guess and maybe I was misreading what Turkey Man and saying. I've had a lot of people since the bowl game talking about is like they called it. We're going deep. I don't think they called we're going deep.
It's not PlayStation. It's not PlayStation. Yeah. You have a play call, a passing play. There's different levels because you want the field to be distributed evenly with receivers. And then based on what the defense is giving you, you hit the open player. It may be short, it may be deep. If it's, third down and 14, obviously you don't want to throw it a shallow cross at 4 yards. But you take what the defense gives you most of the time. And in that situation, Hendon took what the defense gave him. He just didn't hit it.
Yeah. Well, too, on that last drive, I have more problems with not judiciously using the timeouts. That would have saved some time, and you probably would have had another play even after that play.
That's fair.
As far as the long, and as far as going like with the 56-yard field goal, I almost think throwing the ball up to Tillman in the end zone was better odds than the 56 yard.
Maybe you're right on that one, man.
Well, if you go back to the Ole Miss game, if he hadn't already played, 100 plays before then, and he gets 2 more inches of lift on Milton's next to the last play of the game, that's a touchdown. You're going home a winner. He just didn't quite get up high enough at the point of the ball to get it. You can say in question, but one thing I don't question, how anybody can take a record-setting offense and be hypercritical, I don't know. Some of those close plays we didn't convert would never mattered if we haven't been racking up points. And, using the smallest back we got, both in the Pitt game and in the Purdue game, you can question, but the truth of the matter is, as you guys were discussing and Ben was talking about, people not executing, the other players not executing. If our tight end executes a block, we walk into the end zone anyhow.
Correct.
There, in overtime. So
correct.
It's just, I've played enough football, and you certainly have, to know that it only takes one guy here or there and not doing what they're supposed to do, and your play's going to blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the most beautiful thing about football is it's 11 players doing what they're supposed to do on a play because the execution. Everything in theory can work, but theory is not human. You've got to go out there and execute. But gosh, I just can't imagine anybody at this point in time being hesitant or looking at shortcomings of Heupel's offense. I mean, he's proved it. Even though we ended up not, kind of getting crushed at the end, like you guys mentioned, you're in it in the fourth quarter with Alabama. Didn't last as long, but you scored more points than anybody in the regular season on Georgia. I'm gonna follow Heupel. Yeah, I'm going to complain at the time, just like with officiating and everything else. We were so close to a 10-win team this year with first-year offense. walk-on players, I've just got 100% faith that Coach Heupel is going to get it done. I'm just
he's earned
until
that.
he, yeah,
he's earned that.
Well,
fact,
guys, yeah, I agree. Anyhow, I won't hold you guys up in case somebody else wants to call, but I just, I've got a friend lives down in Georgia now. He's from here, but and he's been gutted so bad in the last 10 years or so that he just won't give Heupel a chance. He immediately in the Ole Miss game, he immediately in the Pitt game, he immediately in the bowl game, sent me messages about how stupid the coaches were, and blah blah blah, and how they was blowing it. Nothing was ever going to be right again.
Yeah,
so
he'll be all right, man. He'll be all right when Tennessee gets some more depth and more players, and get some more results. Then maybe he'll feel a little bit differently. Don, thanks so much for the call. Pitfall on the text box. I'm gonna read what you said here. I need you to help me understand what you are hearing, because I'm a little confused. So Pitfall says, why would you talk about anything that would hurt recruiting live on air, even if it's true? Then he says media hurts recruiting more than anything for Tennessee. What did you hear last segment to make you feel like what was being talked about recruiting was hurting Tennessee? Because what was said was that Tennessee had to battle against negative recruiting from competitors that said that Tennessee was going to have a 3-4 year sanctions to deal with, and it was not true. Negative recruiting has been going on for decades, for years and years and years. Tennessee went to a bowl game, will be past this whole sanction stuff after May. So now opponents can't use that to negative recruit Tennessee. Well, when they can't use that, they'll find the next thing. And the next thing will be, all right, do they put guys in the league? Tennessee has not answered that question yet. Because like I said, Cade Mays and Velus Jones will be the test. They have not played in the league yet. They're not even in the league. So it's not something that will hurt Tennessee. I'm just sharing with you what other teams are going to try to say, and that Tennessee is going to have to deal with that, however they want to deal with that. Media does not hurt a school in recruiting more than anything. The schools either help or hurt themselves more than anything. Now, do the media pour some gas on the flames? Yeah, absolutely. Look at what's going on at Auburn. And, I mean, if it wasn't for the media coverage, then this dumpster fire at Auburn wouldn't be as bad as it is. But I don't know how you got from the last segment that what Tennessee's going to have to deal with in the future would hurt Tennessee in recruiting. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Pitfall says how Tennessee's offense doesn't translate to the NFL. The receivers don't always run routes. Can they put guys in the league just because they're legit concerns? The media doesn't need to point them out. Pitfall, do you live in a cave? Dude, everyone knows what Tennessee's offense does. This is not like a secret. Like, Ole Miss, Tennessee are the only schools in the country that do what we do the way that we do it. And no one in the NFL does it. So it's not a secret that that's going to be the question from scouts. When a player is going from Ole Miss to Tennessee to the NFL, is, okay, how can you adapt? But if you're a smart football player and you're made full of the right stuff and you're athletic, then you can adjust, you can adapt. It's not going to matter. So, like, if Hendon Hooker throws the ball great with anticipation and he's accurate and he's great leadership and he's very intelligent, it really doesn't matter what offense he plays in because he's going to be able to adapt. That's what I said last segment. But schools will say anything and do anything to win on the recruiting trail. So, hey man, you want to blame them? You want to blame the media? Go for it. It's going to be what Tennessee puts on film, good or bad, that affects recruiting. It's going to be what Tennessee does in the NIL game, good or bad, that affects recruiting. It's going to be what Tennessee is able to do with their players going to NFL, good or bad, that's going to affect recruiting. What I just mentioned is something that everyone knows. Everyone knows, man. Everyone knows. So, Tennessee has not reached that point yet because no one has played in the league from Josh Heupel's first season. He just completed his first season. So his first class is Alontae Taylor. It is Cade Mays. It's Velus Jones. We're not going to know the answer for months. It may be another year or two. But I'm just telling you what the Kentuckies will try to say. I'm just telling you what the South Carolinas will try to say. What the Floridas will try to say.
How dare you be informative, Swain? I mean, just how dare you, as a former player, just
okay, Pitball. Don't point those.
Pee on your school. I mean, just how dare you? We need to take your VFL card away.
Pitball's like, man, don't be informative, man, because it's a secret. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Do you win? Do you put guys in the league? That is how you stay on top in recruiting. Ohio State has done it. Clemson has done it. Alabama's done it. Georgia's done it. LSU has done it. It's not a secret, Pitball. It's been that way for decades. It's no different now. And it's the same when Butch Jones was the head coach, the same when Prue was the head coach, Dooley's the head coach, Coach Fulmer, Kiffin, and now Heupel.
For the next 10 coaches.
For the next 10 coaches.
The same three factors will determine whether recruits come to school under the next Tennessee coaches. Do they drop the bag off with the NIL?
Yeah.
Do they put guys in the league? And do they win? That's the only three things that recruits care about.
Yeah.
The only three things. It's been that way the last 25 years. It'll be that way for the next 25 years and the next 10 Tennessee football coaches.
I picked Tennessee because they put receivers in the league. That was my number one reason. And I saw Dante. I saw Peerless. I saw all these guys going to the league, and Eric Parker was probably like the biggest one that convinced me because he didn't get drafted. He was working in a grocery store. No, he's working at a gym, and he gets picked up by the Chargers, and he's like one of the best receivers in the league at the time. And it's because of the development that took place at Tennessee. Like, that's why I picked Tennessee. So, Pitfall, man, dude, trust me, it's not a secret. It's not a secret, man. And we're not mentioning flaws. The system is not a flaw. The Heupel system is not a flaw. Like you're I don't know how you are interpreting this. It's not a flaw. It's just different. It's just different. Matt Corral will have to go through the same evaluation process. He played in an offense that is not ran in the NFL. So when Matt Corral goes to Indianapolis and he is interviewing with GMs and he's talking to coaches and they're telling him to get up on the grease board and draw up certain plays, he's going to have to sell them on how he can do the same things in the NFL. Because at the end of the day, it's about being able to process information quickly, being a good leader, making all the throws, It's not a flaw. It's just different. It's just different. It's different. Chip Payne said, tell this guy to quit clutching his pearls. Man, there's things I do not bring up on the show.
That would hurt Tennessee.
That would hurt Tennessee. This is nowhere close to one of those things, Pitfall. So calm down, relax. I think you're making something out of absolutely nothing. Everyone knows that when you have a offense or defensive system that nobody runs in the NFL, and you're transitioning from college to the NFL, you have to prove that you can also do it at the NFL level. That's not a secret.
Like Nick Saban and Kirby Smart are not sitting around. Jimbo Fisher, they're not sitting around this morning listening to hour 3 of the Swain event and coming to a realization that, dadgummit,
I had no idea.
I had no idea that Tennessee's offense is so simple and that its players are going to have to prove itself to the league when they go through the draft process. I had no idea. Thank you, Jason Swain, for being a terrible former Vol and pointing this out and discrediting your former school.
Yep.
Now, you know what? Let me call
out.
Carnell Tate and Devin Hyatt and Justin Brown right now and point this out to them.
The secret is out, man. The secret is out. Tennessee runs a no huddle, up-tempo offense that no one runs in the NFL, and the players from offense will have to prove that they can do it at the NFL level. That is the secret.
You don't think Kirby Smart and Nick Saban, two of the greatest defensive minds in college football right now, you don't think that when they watched the film of Tennessee to prepare for the game that they didn't see the simplistic single-digit routes that Tennessee's receivers ran?
Yeah, this is what's going to get you in the league. This is what's going to get you in the league if you play offense for Josh Heupel. If you're a wide receiver, can you change directions? Can you make plays with the ball in your hands? Do you play hard? Athletic, do you win your one-on-one matchups in SEC play? Regardless of what offense you're running, that's what's going to matter. Offensive line, can you move the dudes that's in front of you? Can you do that? That's what's going to matter. But I'll say it again for Pitfall. Other schools, when recruiting, they're going to try to make it seem like that their school is the best place for a recruit to go to get to the league. And Tennessee's going to have to combat that narrative the same way they had to do when it came to the sanctions. Other schools lie, Pitfall. People lie. So you got to prove that.
Men lie, women lie, and kids do too.
Oh, man. That was Vaughn Birmingham says losing hurts schools in recruiting. Yeah, losing. Not media. That dang media, man. That damn media. Auburn would have signed a whole lot more players if it wasn't for the media, man. The media's fault. But Florida's, they would have signed a whole lot more players if it wasn't for the media. Come on.
What an hour.
Come on, Pitball.
What an hour.
Come on, man. Come on. 865-255-03. Hour 3 powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Reinventing men's health care. Very, very important, man, that you roll with a health provider that you trust. Everyone is trying to dabble into testosterone. But go with somebody that you trust, and that is Low T Center. Do your homework. Do your homework first. Go to lowtcenter.com and do that homework. It's all there for you. They specialize in men's wellness. Also, right now, and Low T Center is changing the game with this, where monitored self-inject treatments are available to be shipped to your home. Your levels are low? Treat yourself at the house. Low T Center can get you set up in doing that. But it starts with the health assessment. Plenty of locations right here in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Knoxville, Nashville, Tri-Cities, get scheduled, get there, get your numbers, and get back on the right track. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hope everyone has a great day. Be back tomorrow. Let's talk about a big Orange win over Mississippi State tomorrow morning. What you say, Ben? Think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.